Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Nathan Miller. I'm on the marketing team here at Xometry. And thank you for joining today's webinar, which is titled Build Big Ideas Together, Xometry, Teamspace, Demo, and Q&A. Now, in case you aren't familiar with Teamspace yet, or you just need a quick refresher, we just recently released this big product update called Teamspace, which is a collaborative dashboard that you can access from your Xometry account. It allows you and members of your team easy and quick access to each other's quotes, orders, part statuses, and much more. We're actually going to see a demonstration of Teamspace live from the product team that helped design it, but you'll also notice on our title that it's demo and Q&A. This is also an opportunity for you to ask and get your questions answered about this update. When you logged on, you should have seen a GoToWebinar module, and one of the modules that you should be able to see is a questions module. If at any point you have a question that you would like our product team to answer, please make sure to send that along to us. And at the very end, we'll have a chance to answer as many questions as we can. All right. Now, without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce today's panel. First, we have Ira Swishtro, Director of Product Management at Xometry. She leads our marketplace services, and she has also led a variety of cross-functional teams to help bring this big idea to life. Welcome, Ira.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thanks for coming. We also have Will Anderson. He is a senior product manager at Xometry. He leads our financial services team at Xometry, but him and his team were also very fundamental in creating the Teams experience, which he is going to demonstrate for us here in a little bit.
Hey, everyone.
And we have, lastly, Talia Malkin, who is a user design researcher at Xometry, and she is the voice of you, the customer, trying to make sure that every single product update that we have, every single change that we make is better designed to help serve your needs and desires. Thank you, Talia, for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here.
All right, perfect. So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about Teamspace today. But before we talk about Teamspace, we do need to talk a little bit about the Xometry Instant Quoting Engine, which is where Teamspace lives. So Will, why don't you go ahead and get things started for us? Tell us a little bit about Xometry and the Xometry Instant Quoting Engine.
Yeah, definitely. And so this is just going to be a quick refresher for any folks that are unfamiliar with what Xometry does. If obviously you've ordered with us and you've had an account with us, this is going to be pretty familiar to you. But basically what Xometry is, so we are an AI-powered digital manufacturing marketplace. So what that means is that companies from around the world use us to make a lot of different custom parts. So Xometry offers over a dozen different manufacturing services. This includes CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and more. So we make it really easy for customers to build custom parts through this instant quoting engine. And so if you look on the screen here, you'll see this GIF playing to the right, and that's basically what the instant quoting engine is. So it's an online portal where our customers can receive instant pricing feedback on their project as soon as they upload a 3D CAD file. And after placing orders, customers can keep up to date with the status via their account's personal dashboard. And Xometry handles all the production, making it really easy and seamless to order. So we'll go ahead and get started now. And what I'm going to do first, before we actually talk about Teamspace and what that experience is, what we're going to do first is I'm going to actually show you all how to create a team. So this is going to be the first thing you'll want to do if you want to take advantage and use the new Teamspace feature. And so this is going to be pretty quick. And so let me go ahead and I'm going to actually share my screen here, and then I can kind of walk you through this process. So, all right. And so you should actually be seeing my screen here. And so I just created a quick new test account. So this is your personalized dashboard. So if you have been a Xometry user for a while, this should look pretty familiar to you. So as soon as you register, as soon as you sign up for the website, this is where you're going to land. And so this is a typical starting point for folks. You can actually just scroll down here, and for new users, we have this little kind of personalized touch point over here on the right, And this actually is just a pretty easy way to go ahead and get started with creating a team if you haven't done one before. So you can click here, Discover Xometry Teamspace. That'll lead you through that process. But we're actually going to go to your account settings page first, because this is where you'll primarily go to create new teams. And also, once you're a member of a team, this is where all of that information is going to be listed. So as you join teams, you're going to see those appear here in this table. It's going to populate. And as you receive invitations to teams, you're also going to see that populate here in this table. So we'll start here by creating a new team. So you just click that. And just 2 quick screens. So you're going to give yourself a name here. So we're going to be the MKP Quoters team. And then this is where you can invite some of your colleagues to go ahead and get started and join in with that team. So I'm going to go ahead and invite one test account that I have set up. So you just type that in, click add here, that'll get saved. And you can add as many names as you want here. If you don't want to invite anyone when you get started, that's fine. You'll be able to invite people after you've created the team too. And obviously you can skip this if you want. So we'll click send invitations. And so what you're going to see here behind this little pop-up is your team settings page. And so we're going to explore that here for just a second. But you'll see this little message. It'll say, congrats, you've created your team. So if you want to go to team management, you click this button here. You could also go straight to the Teamspace dashboard. But again, we're gonna take a look at the team settings, the team management page first. So when you land on this page here, you'll be able to do a couple of things. So right up at the top here, we've got another link. Again, if you want to go to Teamspace, if you want to go to those dashboards, that's an easy way to do it. If you want to edit your team name, you could. So I could take one of those Z's out if I want, hit submit. So I've changed the team name. And then down here, you'll also see another option again to invite additional team members. So this is what I was talking about here. If you don't want to invite anyone as you're creating the team, that's fine. You can always come back to this page later and you can invite folks here. Same way that we just did. Start typing in email addresses and then click send invitation, and you'll send those invites off. And then right now, we basically just have 2 roles in the system. So we've got admins and we've got contributors. So there's not too much of a difference between the two. Admins, of course, as the name implies, these are going to be folks that are going to be able to manage things. They can invite other folks. They can take other contributors and bump them up to admin status. And then contributors, of course, they're not able to do those things. So that's really the separation here. Admins can do things like invite folks, upgrade permissions, things like that. Contributors are just going to be there. And you'll see down here, I've got myself, Will, and then my test email here. And then on this tab, we see that invitation that I had fired off earlier. So what we're going to do is, I've got another window open here. And so as you can see here, this is the email that I received. So this is a different browser window here. And so it says, Will has invited you to join MKP Quoters. So I'm going to accept the invite. And you could decline there. Declining just kind of confirms you'll land on a screen that says, you have not joined the team. And that's about it. So you could decline. But I think the assumption is most folks are going to accept. And so you've got this landing page here. And if you click continue to Teamspace, that's going to take you to that corresponding Teamspace dashboard. And I'll note, when any new user comes into Teamspace, they're going to have this prompt here where it's going to ask, would you like to share all your previous quotes and orders with this team? So that's one of the big value points here with using Teamspace. And I won't talk about this too much. Ira is going to go over this in detail. But this is an easy and quick and fast way for you to go ahead and get all of your quote history over into this shared dashboard so that as more people come into your team, they're going to have full visibility onto all of that information. So I'm just going to select no for now. But that's the dashboard. And then we're going to flip back over here, and I'll just give this a quick refresh. And you're going to see down here now that we've got 2 folks. So Dolly Parton joined the team. And obviously we don't have any more pending invites. And if I go down here, what I could do is I could promote Dolly up to an admin if I want. So I just select assign as admin, I hit update, pretty easy. So now Dolly is an admin. I could also go here and I could say, you know what, I made a mistake. I don't want her to be an admin. I just want her to be a contributor again. I could bump her back down. And if I also wanted to, I could say, you know what, remove her. And I won't do this right now. But if you remove someone, you can hit update and it'll give you a little warning message here before you remove them from the team. If someone is removed, they can be added back as many times as you need. So this isn't kind of a final action that you can only take once. It's pretty easy to do these things back and forth. And as you saw here, you can upgrade someone's permissions, you could downgrade it. You can do that as many times as you need to. So that is pretty much everything with team member management or the team settings page. And again, to get to this, it's going to be pretty easy. Your account settings page, this is where your kind of home base is going to be for creating new teams. You can be a member of multiple teams. So as you can see here, I have an option to create additional teams. And then if you ever want to get to that corresponding options page, you'll see the team that I just created here. I could click view team settings. That's going to take me right back to where I was. So that's pretty much everything here for team creation and then managing a team. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ira. And so let me go ahead. And then she's going to take it from here.
Thank you, Will. Okay, so thank you, Will, for helping us create the team. Now that we have it, let's see what we can do as a team together in the Teamspace. So this is the team that Will has created. And as Will has mentioned here, you have this message asking if you would like to share all your previous codes and orders with your team. There are like different ways how you can, if you think that most of the team's quotes and orders, of most of your quotes and orders that you have created before are relevant to your team, or there are no concerns with sharing with your team, I would probably select yes. And then if there are some annoying quotes that you don't want to be part of the team, you can just remove individually. Or you may decide that you want to start from the clean slate, start from zero, or you might decide that only some quotes and only some orders are relevant to your team. You can just go then to your personal start page and share them individually later. And I'll show you how that works as well. So in this case, because I don't want to put too much work into it, and I think I want to share the stuff that I was working on with my team because we're all working on the same project, I would say yes, and this would import all my previous codes and orders into the Teamspace. And so voila, here we have it. Luckily, my other team members as well share their quotes and orders, so it's a fun, pretty populated dashboard that we can now all continue working on together. If I said no, and if my team said no, or we don't have any quotes and orders, this is how the dashboard would have looked like. And then we can just start from all over by creating new quotes here, like uploading the files and going through this experience. And now I have to, how do I close it now? Okay, we can start from here, or we can continue with what we have had before. Okay, so for those of you who have seen and worked used our platform before, creating a quote, this dashboard might look familiar in a way that the layout is pretty similar to personal start page, plus it has some of the stuff that is relevant to the team. And so I'll walk from top to bottom. Here from the top, you can see right now we are on the Teamspace on my market quoters team. But if I click, I can easily navigate to my personal dashboard by clicking here, or I can navigate to my other team's dashboard because I can be a member of multiple teams. I'm not restricted to be only a member of one team. So I can choose how to navigate here, and I'll take you there in a minute. Then the next thing that is important to highlight is this toggle, which allows you to share your future codes that you create in the personal dashboard with the team automatically. So you don't have to go and share each time if you're all working on the same project. Otherwise, you can just share them individually. Next section is the summary of everything that has team been working on in terms of the order statuses. How many orders have been submitted in the past 30 days? How many are in progress? How many have been shipped? So just an easy overview of where the project lies if you're working on the same project. The next is most recent team quotes. This could be your quote or your team's quote, depending on whose quote is the most recent, and the link to see all the team's quotes. So if I click here, I see a large table with all kinds of folks who have created those quotes before. And if I'm, for example, an engineer working with my team together on a quote, I can then expand it for more details. I can copy it, delete it, download it. I can also potentially make some edits to the quote by clicking directly on the quote, which will take me to the quote summary. Let's try this. And so right now I'm on a quote summary page where I can configure the parts, I can change the quantity or anything else if we are collaborating on this quote together with somebody else. I'm not going to do it right now. We'll just go back. From this page, this is the all quotes page of the team. You can also navigate to the quote history page on your personal dashboard or to the quotes page of another team that you're a part of. Otherwise, you can just go back to the main dashboard. We are here. To the right, you can also see the window with all your team members. It's still loading right now, so let's give it a minute. And so like here, you can scroll and view all your team members, everybody who's on the team. You can also click on this link, which will take you to the team setting page that Will walked us through earlier. It's still loading. I guess my internet is not that great today. But yeah, so you can manage all the stuff here. Okay, so it has populated now, so you can see all your team members and invitees, and you can perform all these actions that the team has Will has mentioned before. So let's go back again to the team dashboard and keep our walkthrough. Okay, now it's populated, so you can see here, you can scroll who's on your team. And if you have admin rights, then you can invite more team members to your team. And now the most important, based on all the research we have done, is the team's order table, which provides way more information and better overview of where the stuff is that the team has put together and then ordered. So starting from like, you can search for your orders. Imagine like I don't have a lot of orders, my team hasn't placed a lot of orders, but in some cases you can have a lot of hundreds and hundreds of orders here. So you can easily search the order that you need. And here is the info icon that gives you more information about how you can search this table, for what information we support. It's very searchable. You can search by many fields. You can also filter this order table depending on the status. My team doesn't have a lot of orders, so only 2 statuses that we have associated with all the orders that have placed. They have been either delivered or canceled. But in your case, your team might have way more orders going on, and some of them might be in progress, some could be partially shipped if some of the parts of the order have been shipped and the other haven't. So the more statuses you have, like the more you can filter that here. And you can also copy order if you would like to place another order based on this with or without modifications, and you can expand the order to see more information. And so here you have again this thumbnail, you have a file part name, part file name, quantity, the status, and the tracking number. You can also like, especially it's important to like be able to expand the order if you have more than one part in the order. So now sometimes the order can contain like up to 100 of parts, different orders, different parts. So you can expand and you can see the status of each part, because some of them might be already delivered, some might be still in progress. You can see it all here. And you can also download the table if you have like for internal use, for reporting, or any other information. So it's also an easy button, and you'll get it in a CSV. Now, the last thing I want to touch is the sharing. So like I mentioned, you can choose to share all your codes, import all your previous codes and orders with the team when you are just joining the team, or you can share them individually. And so sharing them individually, you just use this button. So share here. Important things are you can either type in the name of the email of the person you want to share it, or if you haven't shared it with your team, for example, or you haven't shared it with another team, then that team will pop up here. I'll show you here, for example, in this example. So I'm a member of the Marketplace Quarters team. This quote I have created, and it has been shared automatically with this team. I can always unshare by removing it, but I can also share it with another team I'm part of. So Domino's Effect is another team that I'm part of. The quote hasn't been shared with this team before, but I think it should be shared. And so I select it. I can then share this quote. I will not do it right now, but that's how you would do it. That's how you can share or unshare. Important thing is here, you can share same quote and order with as many teams as you want. We are not limiting you here because there are some efficiencies and economies of scale. You can reuse some of, you might have a need to reuse some of the files, some of the stuff to order with multiple teams. So that's important to, but you can only share it with those teams that you're part of. So if you're part of the team, you can share your quote or order with the team. But if you're not part of that team, you will not see that team there. You will not be able to find that team, and you will not be able to share. This is for security purposes. So you need to be invited on a team to be able to collaborate with that team effectively. Now I'll show you, I don't have orders in my personal start page. So I'll show you how to share orders here from my Teamspace team dashboard. But basically, if you click on an order summary, in the top right corner, you can see the share button. By using the share button, then you can, as you can see, this has been already shared with this team, Marketplace Quarters. It's another team member of mine who have already shared it. But here you can also, this hasn't been shared, the order hasn't been shared with another team, Domino Effect, and I can always choose to share this order with that team. We're also gonna build in the functionality to have the share button here under the copy order. I think it's gonna be coming very, very soon, probably within the next few weeks. So it will be even easier to share orders rather than just going to the summary page. And I think that probably concludes my demo. We'll have time to answer any questions relating to Teamspace at the end of this presentation, but I wanted also to touch a little bit on the security. And so it's important, I think, on the security. So you might have questions, is my stuff safe? Is my data safe within the Teamspace? And would say yes, we take safety and security of your data extremely importantly. All our Xometry, not just Teamspace, but Xometry in general, we are hosting our software and all the data in AWS, US Gov Cloud, and we're also complying with all the regulations that are related to the industry we are working in, including ITAR, DFARS, etc., etc. So don't worry about that part. It's all safe and secure. And just to summarize what we have talked about today, like why did we build Teamspace? We built Teamspace so that the teams can, team members can collaborate effectively and easily when they're working either in the same department or on the same project, or who knows, like you choose your own path. But engineers can now collaborate more easily on the code that they are working on together. Purchasers can way easier order that code once it's completed. The team can track their order and see where it is at and what is the latest status of it. Managers can track the team's work on what is the progress and also download information for their internal purposes and reporting. And our hope is that making collaboration and working on projects easier will, in a more seamless way, will make your life and your work easier and more fun. But also, like, more stuff will come. We are very open to your feedback. We want to hear your questions, concerns, suggestions, and I'm going to pass it now to Talia.
Thank you, Ira. So customers are really such a key driver of the Teamspace experience that you saw today. And over the last few months, we met with our customers on a very frequent basis to really ensure that the experience that you're seeing address their challenges. So we gathered consistent feedback to really understand their pain points, their key needs, and we generally learned how to improve the overall experience from them. So we take that customer feedback very seriously and use it to prioritize what we build and how we build it. And as a researcher, my goal is to really ensure that your voices are heard and make sure that we're building the tools and resources that help meet your needs and make your lives easier, as you've heard a lot today. And so I want to invite you to sign up to join our research panel so that you all have the opportunity to provide any feedback that will help inform our products moving forward. And when you join our research panel, you can receive gift cards or other gifts for your time. You'll have a direct line to the product team, so some of the folks that you saw speaking today, and you'll have the opportunity to influence product roadmaps and also test out products in their infancy. So you can contact me directly expressing your interest in getting involved using the email you see here on the screen, but we'll also be providing you with a link to join following this webinar. So with that, I will pass it back to Nathan.
Thank you so much, Talia. Appreciate it. And just like Talia said, you will have an opportunity to join that panel with a link that will be provided in a email that will be sent out after this webinar is over. Now is a great time for us. We have around 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes to answer some questions. So I want to go ahead and turn our attention to some of these questions. I have one right here. Ira, I'm going to go ahead and start with this question for you. How would you remove a quote that has been imported?
So there are two ways how you can remove it. First, you have to find it and click on it. And if you want to remove it permanently, you just select the button to delete. It is, yeah, you can easily find it in the all codes history, like history table. There is, like, when I expand and there is a delete. Or you can just unshare it from the team. And to unshare, you click on the quote and you click on the button share, and then you will see the remove. And by clicking on the button to remove, the quote will disappear from the team.
I see. Actually, this is oh, sorry, go ahead, Ira. My bad.
No. And we'll build a few more functionalities in the near future to make it even easier.
Actually, I just wanted to jump in because we had another question that was very related to that. So the follow-up question was, when I delete a quote I made personally from my team dashboard, does that remove the quote from my personal dashboard?
Deleting a quote will delete it permanently. Unsharing, removing a quote will remove it from the team's dashboard, but will keep it on your personal dashboard.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Let me pull up a couple more questions. Will, I'll go ahead and pass the ball to you for this next question. Do you have to have a matching email domain to invite someone to a team? Can you invite anyone from outside your organization?
Yeah, there is nothing in the system right now that is going to check any type of emails that you put into the invite box. So you can invite anyone to your team. That's completely up to you.
Okay, I have another question. Either of you can take this one. Can Teamspace integrate with shop management tools like Job Boss?
I would say no, not today, but we would like to learn more.
Okay, all right. And while we're on that same vein, are there any, you mentioned, Ira, this idea that soon we might see that share quote feature added to the team dashboard. Are there any other soon to be announced, any kind of things you can hint at, some product updates that might be coming to Teamspace?
So we'll make sharing a bit more easier when you will be able to select from the team settings, import all your quote history, or import all your order history. So like 2 separate rather than 1 yes for everything. We'll also be adding a share order to the table. Right now it's only available on the summary page. We'll also be adding documentation that you can download directly from the order table. It's coming soon. And what else do we have? We have a lot. Hard to think. And yeah, today we have a gap. It's pretty new product, so bear with us. There's a gap in user experience when the quote is ready to order. Today there is no capability to mark quote as ready to order, and it's very important for the team to know when the quote is not in works but ready to order, so that the purchaser can just place it. And so we are working on it. It's one of our top priorities, that engineers would be able to mark it as ready to order, and then it would show in a very easy way for purchasers, and purchasers will be able to sign up and receive notifications when that quote is ready, so that they can go and purchase. These are like some of the most immediate things that I can think of, but there will be more coming.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I have another question. Does the order tracking stop at the delivery stage? Specifically wondering if invoices are included in the shared information.
Tracking stops today at the delivery, and you can see the tracking number. But our roadmap includes having invoice documentation to make it downloadable and easily accessible from the order table.
Okay.
So I guess our short answer is today, yes. At the delivery, in the future, we might be able to add more functionalities there.
Okay, I have another question. Will, I'll go ahead and pass the ball to you for this one. If there is a case open for manufacturing issues, is that status or case number posted on the dashboard? Can issues be addressed via the Xometry dashboard?
Ooh, that actually might be a better one for Ira. That's not something I'm familiar with.
Can I hear the question again?
Sure. The question was, if there is a case open for manufacturing issues, is that status or case number posted on the dashboard? Can issues be addressed via the Xometry dashboard?
Not today, but we are aware of the need. So this is also something that we are planning to build out, but not today, not yet.
Okay, thank you. May one user belong to several teams? Is there a limit to how many teams you can be a part of?
Yes, they can. No limit. Same applies to quotes and orders.
Okay, good to know. Let me pull up another question. I have had a customer that was not able to be added because I thought it was a partner. Has that been changed or has it been addressed?
Yeah, we originally did have a block on this new feature, just because we have a separate system for partners where they can manage a team on basically the job board side of the platform. And so we wanted to prevent some confusion, especially as we were launching this new feature that's also all about managing a team. That block has actually been removed as of last week. So if that person wants to come back and take another look, they should be able to create a team, be able to accept any invites, basically anything that anyone else has ever been able to do with this feature, they are now enabled to do.
Okay, thank you. Let me pull up another question. How can I know if my company Teamspace already exists and I need to join it. This asker is trying to avoid creating an additional Teamspace if the company already has one.
At the moment, so that would be a little bit tough without talking to your colleagues and kind of knowing that information yourself. So the thought has been, suggested that we could make Teams searchable, but I think there's security implications with that. So that's not something we're ready to kind of commit to just yet. So there wouldn't be a way necessarily of knowing at the moment that someone else in your team has created, or someone else at your company has already created a team. To Ira's point though, you can join as many teams as you want. So if you do happen to join you join a team and this is not the one that you all want to work in, this is not the one your purchaser told you to join or your engineering manager told you to join, then you can just kind of use the right one. You'll still be in that team. We currently don't have a way to delete teams right now. That's actually something my team is working on. But for now, you can join as many teams as you want. There's no cap on it. So that would be the way I'd say to kind of get around that issue. But otherwise, we're not exposing anything like that information to our users right now that so-and-so from X company has already created something already.
Okay, thank you, Will. Next question, I'll bring this one to Ira. Are quotes covered in an NDA? Do I need NDAs for each team?
I think I'm struggling to answer it. I think the teams are, if the premise and the idea is that the team, when they are forming, they trust each other and they are working on the same stuff together. And so I would say, like, no, there are no NDAs. Like, we allow their team, like the teams, to manage themselves and manage their stuff on their own. And so if you're inviting folks into your team, the idea is that you trust them with the stuff that you're sharing with them together. In cases where, like, there are more security concerns, like, for example, you have stuff that is ITAR sensitive, that maybe it makes sense to create a separate team that is only for ITAR and invite into the team the people who are kind of compliant with the ITAR. But then, like, NDA, it's also like, it's the agreement and the trust level that you have between you guys. That's something that we can't control and we don't want to control because we might get it wrong.
Okay, I have another question. This one is actually asked after we spoke about the job board feature. The question says, I am unfamiliar with the job board feature. How do I know if Teamspace or the job board is better suited for my needs?
That's a good question. Yeah, I can take this. I started smiling for a little bit because this is not an area of the product I work on a lot. So I was thinking I'm gonna say some things and hopefully they're correct, but I can definitely handle this. So the feature that I was talking about has existed for a couple of years, and it's for our partners that are taking jobs from Xometry. And so what that kind of team management process does is it allows let's say you're a machinist, you can invite your colleagues from that machine shop to also join in, and then you all can kind of administer privileges on who can view jobs, who can accept a job, things like that. So that's what that kind of management feature does, and it all has to do with your permissions for the job board. So that is exclusively that. For teams, though, that's going to be the entry point to what Ira was talking about, the Teamspace dashboards. So if you're purchasing anything through Instant Quote, that's really going to be the use case for all of this. Now, that's not to say, though, that in the future we might make some changes, or that the team creation process that I showed today isn't going to be the gateway to other features in the future, or that's going to be the way to unlock usage for other things that we want to encourage groups of people to kind of inhabit and use. But for now, basically, if you're buying anything on Instant Quote, that's what this is for that we've just talked about. If you're taking jobs and you're a machine shop and you've been doing that, that's what that team member management feature on the partner side is for.
Okay, thank you, Will.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Let me pull up another question. One moment, please. Okay. If I place an order for a quote made by a team member, who owns that order? Is that order owned by me or the team member?
So the owner of the quote is the quoter, and in the order table, when we remove this feature, we'll put it back. So the owner of the quote is the quoter, and the orderer is the I guess like what is the owner here? Like owner of the quote is the owner, is the person who created the quote. Yeah, and so they remain the owner of the order as well. But I guess I'm struggling with the concept of the owner here, because my question would be like, why do we need the owner? What are the expectations that the owner can do that the others can do? Because regardless who placed a quote on the Teamspace and who placed an order, both team members can see all the information and they can track it. And there is no distinction, there is no restrictions into what one person can do versus not the other.
Okay.
If I answered that question right.
Thank you, Ira. We're going to start getting near the end of the Q&A section. So one final question. If a team member's account is deactivated, do you lose their orders in Teamspace?
No, you don't.
Okay.
They remain within the Teamspace. The idea is, the way we approached it is when, like me as a product manager, I work for Xometry, I create documents and stuff in Xometry. So even if I leave Xometry, everything that I have created being part of the company stays with the company. And so with the same approach, we treated the Teamspace. So the team member might leave, but their work stays within the Teamspace, within the team.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I am wanting to keep an eye on the time for us. And so if you have any additional questions that we did not get a chance to answer in today's webinar, please keep in mind that you are going to have two opportunities to provide more questions that we can respond to. One is that when this webinar ends, we are going to send a post-webinar survey. In that survey, you can indicate if you have any additional questions for the product team. We'd be happy to pass that along to them. We will also send a post-webinar email, which will give you an opportunity to ask questions there as well. In the email, we will make sure to indicate that, hey, if you have additional questions, you can reply to this email and we'll send those along to the product team and let you know. So where do we go from here? The first things first is that if you haven't already created a team, create a team. And if your organization already has a team, then ask to be invited into that team and try Teamspace for yourself. See how it can help you build big ideas together with your team. Also, please let us know what you thought of this webinar in the post-webinar survey that you are about to receive. Let us know what you liked, what you learned, ways that we could potentially improve. And also you will notice that there is a recording that is going to get sent to you in the post-webinar email. We would encourage you to please send that along to your colleagues. You may have a colleague that says like, hey, you know, there's this new update, but I'm not really familiar with it. That is an easy way for you to send them this recording, say, hey, why don't you go ahead and watch this, and they can get a free demo of this new product. And last but not least, make sure to visit Xometry.com, get an instant quote today. And final thing, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time, and we hope you enjoy Teamspace. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.